There's this essay going around that is called Fighting Games Have a Product Design Problem. And basically it argues for a few different things, right? One is that fighting games could potentially be a lot bigger. I think many esports are 30, 50 times the size of even the largest fighting games right now. But that's not the point of this video. But there are multiple other dimensions this genre can and must evolve along it and reach the audience. And one of the things that is brought up is talking about how Deadlock is extremely difficult and fighting games are extremely difficult. And so if Deadlock can do well, why can't fighting games? I agree, but I'm also going to make the argument Deadlock has a much better onboarding process than 2xKO, and actually most fighting games, because I think 2xKO onboarding process is actually pretty decent compared to most fighting games. And in order to describe that, I want to talk about a couple things. People confuse a skill floor a lot with skill ceiling. So when you say something is hard, what are you actually talking about? Are you talking about skill floor is skill ceiling? I don't know. It's actually really ambiguous, right? And actually, I was looking at this video. Deadlock is harder to learn than any fighting game. And I actually agree with every single point he makes in the video. But the reason my title is different than Sajam's Deadlock is harder to learn than any fighting game is because we kind of have different definitions of what makes a game hard. Mostly what he talks about what makes a game hard is the fact that Deadlock has an almost near infinite skill ceiling. There's so many different things you can improve upon in Deadlock, as opposed to, you know, a more simple game where there's less things to improve upon, and therefore the difference between someone on a skill floor and a skill ceiling is a lot lower, right? So to take this graph and put it in the paint. So the idea is like, what's a really easy shooter game? What is like Call of Duty maybe compared to Deadlock? There's obviously easier shooters than Deadlock. Battlefield 6, okay, Call of Duty, okay. So I would make the argument that Call of Duty has a low skill floor and also a low skill ceiling. So what this means is that right here, the graph for Call of Duty would look like this. I'm not an artist, right? But the idea is Call of Duty has a lower skill ceiling. The best Call of Duty players, while better than the worst Call of Duty or your average Call of Duty players, the gap is a lot smaller because there's less to learn, right? Obviously, there's still mechanics like aim and game knowledge that separate the best players. But compared to a game like Deadlock, where there's way more champs and there's way more mechanics and there's way more nuances to the game, the skill ceiling is higher. I would also argue that fighting games have a very high skill ceiling, right? Pretty much any really good fighting game, especially like, let's say 2xKO, a really strong player is never gonna randomly lose to an average player. The skill gap is just so huge between like an average player and a top player, right? And therefore, because there's so many different things, places to invest your stat points in fighting games, I think, yes, fighting games have a really high skill ceiling. Is Deadlock higher? I don't know. I think they're both really, really hard to get at. And that's not the point of this video. I think Deadlock's skill floor is like here. I think fighting game skill floor is like here, right? I think it takes longer to get to the minimum decency of threshold of a skill floor in a fighting game than it does in Deadlock. And that's because it's way easier to onboard in Deadlock compared to a fighting game. So let's actually compare these, right? So both games have a tutorial. The tutorial is honestly pretty short in this. It took me like maybe a few minutes to get through. All you do is like, it tells you your movement, how to jump, how to like dash. There's a lot of complicated mechanics this game doesn't get into, right? But that's fine. It's okay for the game to kind of gloss over the majority of the complexity of the game in order to get new players in. That's the importance of a skill floor. 2xKO kind of does that. I think maybe they go a little bit more in depth than Deadlock. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure. Here's where the difference goes into play, right? When you hit play, here's what it recommends. Go play against bots. And right away, you're already having fun with the game in a mode. There's two different modes, right? There's this Deadlock mode and there's Street Brawl mode. Deadlock mode, Graves is defaults to Graves.
This should make my mentor happy.
She's like my really easy champ that I like, right? This really easy mode basically dumbs down the game like crazy. There's no different lanes to go in. There's no macro strategy that you have to organize. There's no super coordination you have to have with your teammates. There's no, hey, do I farm jungle? Hey, what items do I buy? All this stuff that makes Deadlock complicated at the highest level, this mode completely strips down, right? it chooses the items for you. You basically have to roll for items, and if you don't know what you're doing and you just click random items, you click the flashy items, you're gonna be at least somewhat decent, right? Like, you don't have to know that much to click an item on the screen. And then it automatically teleports you. You don't have to worry. It tells me what I have to do. There's a glowing thing. Hold tab to upgrade the ability. I just upgrade random abilities because I don't know anything about this game. And I go in and I shoot things. That's it. I don't know anything about fighting games, but if I just sit here and just randomly shoot shit, I feel like I'm already playing the game. And if I win or if I lose, I have teammates to help make that buffer, right? So let's say, you know, so here's my experience. My second game, I did the bot match, and then I went online and I played with other people, and I did the same thing I did in the bot match in a much more simplified game. Because you have to think the skill ceiling of a mode like that is actually here, right? It's like Deadlock, Street Brawl, right? And therefore, it's a lot easier to kind of close that gap, and therefore it also has a lower skill floor, right? I'd say the skill floor of something like Deadlock is also really high, but because they have this additional mode to kind of help ease new players in, it makes the process of actually getting into the game a lot smoother. Yes, I would. This is my point. This is perfect. I would argue you having the same level of effect as a 2x KO player playing in duos with a friend who is playing point and telling them when to tag. I agree. I actually think playing duos with your friend is a much better way to onboard than something like this, because you have a friend telling you about everything and that sort of thing. I agree. The issue is, what happens when most people boot up 2x KO? They go online, they do the tutorial that automatically pops up, they do the 3 bot matches, they hit casual, and they get their ass kicked. Because as a brand new player, you're gonna be the worst person there. Literally everyone else that is playing the game, if you're brand new, has more experience than you. And there's no mode to ease you in. I mean, yes, you can play Juggernaut, but you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And so most people that play this, they go on a losing streak. When I played Deadlock, I won my first game. It's not because I'm good, it's because I got randomly assigned teammates to carry my ass. And therefore, I felt better about actually onboarding. I felt like I was actually learning. Most people, they don't want to queue up and they don't want to just like start losing. I'm good at this game, but I'm not good at Deadlock. I was like the lowest performer on my team, but it didn't matter. It is a way that helped me have fun and ease in, as opposed to most casual players that join this. Yes, like when I first started 2xKO, obviously because I have fighting game fundamentals, like I was able to carry over. If you don't have fighting game fundamentals and you're not a good player, what's gonna happen? You're gonna hit find match, and you're gonna get matched against someone more experienced than you, because literally everyone is more experienced than you because you just started the game, and now you're gonna get your ass kicked. And 2xKO is pretty friendly on that, right? Because there's a bunch of new players joining. Now think of something like Fatal Fury. Actually, no, Nen Impact. Nen Impact is an insanely hard game to get into. I think this is one of the hardest games to learn right now. Why? Because you can't go online and actually play against someone. And let's say you actually do go online and you find someone to play against, right? It looks like there's one person online, to be fair. You play against that one person. That one person is gonna be way better than you. The only person you can fight is Nen Impact's strongest warrior. You're gonna get infinite to death, right? Same thing with any other game that's less played. I mean, City of the Wolves is a lot more popular than Impact, but I guarantee all 174 players that are playing this game are much better than you. Even after you play a few hours, they're still gonna be much better than you. Even though this game's 174 times more popular than Impact. And that's why I think Deadlock is easier to get into. It's not because the game is super complex at a high level. It's not because Fatal Fury is way more complex. I actually think Fatal Fury is a much easier game than Deadlock, outside of like the very high level technical stuff. It's just the onboarding process for a game like this is really hard, because it's hard to find equal skilled opponents in order to level up, right? And yeah, there's crossplay. Technically, you know, there's people playing on PlayStation compared to Deadlock. So there's actually like maybe 300 to 400 people playing, right? You know, that kind of thing. And so obviously Fatal Fury is easier to get into. When you know, compare this to like something like Strive, I think Strive is easier to get into Fatal Fury because there's more newer players that might potentially be your skill level playing Strive. But the vast majority of time, when I hear someone that like just got a fighting game, they're usually like, oh, I went online, I got my ass kicked for like 50 games in a row. That felt great. Not everyone is built like that, right? Like that takes a certain type of mindset. That takes a very improvement mindset that not a lot of people have. And the reason why I think Street Fighter 6 is the most successful game right now in terms of fighting games is because you can actually go online and find people that are complete dog shit at the game to play against. As someone else that's dog shit at the game, you can find someone else that's also dog shit at the game and actually have an equal match. The other main benefit Street Fighter 6 has more fun modes, right? So you have different ways to like improve. And it has a story mode that actually teaches you the game. Yeah, it's almost like a self-perpetuating like success cycle that these more popular fighting games have. And even something like Deadlock has a self-perpetuating like success cycle where because more people are entering Deadlock, then there's more new people to play against, and therefore it keeps growing. Right. The thing is, the other thing that makes Deadlock easier to learn than fighting games, majority of fighting games, maybe Street Fighter is easier to learn than Deadlock, I don't know, right? I think you need ways to easy win to compensate for the difference that Deadlock is a team-based game. Deadlock has teams, players that can carry you and also help protect your ego, right? Because let's be real, casual players need the ego protection. They want to feel like they're winning some. They want to feel like, hey, they're actually doing good at the game. Fighting games unapologetically don't let you have that. So you need other things to compensate. Like, for example, Street Fighter 6, you have a World Tour mode to help ease you in. You have modern mode to help ease you into the game. 2xKO, I just want to point out, when I hit random match, look what pops up. Look what pops up when I hit a random match. Actually, it might take a while. With Deadlock, even if you're having a bad game, you're still playing. In fighting games, if you lose neutral 3-4 times, you get combo to death and it's over. I mean, that's true. I don't think that's an inherent issue. For example, in Deadlock, if you die, you're out for like 50 seconds, right? In the later parts of the game. In this game, I mean, you're never being comboed for 50 seconds, so there's always dead downtime in the game. I do think a duo queue with matchmaking could help, actually. That's why I thought there was potential, but no one plays duos. Look at everyone playing duos in the lobby. No duo, 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 no duo. It's not because duos aren't fun. It's because how the fuck am I supposed to find the duo? Look, what am I just like gonna go up to this random dude and invite him to a duo? It's not gonna work. Oh wait, it did work. Wait, shit. Okay. But like, now I gotta strategize with some random dude. I guess we're running it. He's in chat. Oh yeah, I guess he's in chat. But if you're not a fucking streamer, it's not gonna work that well. I just abused my top player privilege. It's not the same thing. Yeah, and that's why, like, one of the reasons I think this game is harder to learn than Deadlock is, like, there are compensation mechanisms in 2xKO. One compensation mechanism is Juggernaut and Sidekick. When you queue up for the match, if it actually ever shows, what's the recommended fuse? It's Double Down. Double Down's the first one that pops up. So most new players, they're getting pushed to Double Down. And even if you're not getting pushed to Double Down, you play Juggernaut and then you play a team of 2 people and you feel like you're running a massive disadvantage. So of course, like, most people don't play Juggernaut or Sidekick. And the other thing is, yeah, like duo queue could potentially help like ease people in, but it's not practical to play duos. Actually, it's not even practical for me to play duos. I don't know why I can't find the match. Deadlock has long wait times if you're top 0.001%. I mean, yeah, who gives a shit? Once you get someone that's a top 0.001% of the game, they're hooked, bro. You don't need to worry about onboarding them. The problem is that in fighting games, if you suck and get comboed to death, you suck is very apparent in your face and it hurts for new players. Other team-based games don't have that kind of issue because most of the time people don't know they suck. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you need things to compensate for that. You can just blame your teammates. All right, I guess I'm gonna go play duos. I duoed with a Darius player? Are you fucking serious? Oh, we're about to blame my teammate for this loss. Holy shit. All right. But you see, look, Double Down's recommended. Why are we not recommending fucking Sidekick, bro? Can we talk about that? No, don't pick Sidekick. Like, what are the point of these, like, casual fuses if, like, you're not gonna be playing them? All right, whatever. Anyways, that's the end of the YouTube video. Ah! And see, now as a new player, I can blame my teammate. This is perfect. Oh, bro, I did so well. My teammate let me down, and now I just try a different teammate. I roll a different teammate that's more experienced, and I'm good, and now I'm onboarded. That's it. All right, anyways, like, share, subscribe. Take care, y'all, and have a good one. I'm actually gonna run this back, though.